Hey guys, happy Monday. Hey, we are live with another episode of Solving Your Stress Miniseries. I am your host, Sam. Come to you each week on Monday at 12:30 to discuss stress and how you can do certain things to make stress better in your life. Now, I do have two devices going. I appreciate all the feedback with the Instagram. So we are doing this live on Instagram. So hey there, Instagram. Hey there, Facebook. This is so much fun. It's so great to be with you. So let's dive right in. Hey, I'm going to talk about ways and things that you can do to alleviate your stress. Now, there's a whole lot. I'm going to touch on two very important ways to alleviate stress. I know that work. Why do I know they work? Because I do them myself. And if this is the first time you're joining us, how do I know about this thing called stress? Because I live with it every single day. On 9/11, I was in Tower 1 when the plane hit it, received a diagnosis of post-traumatic stress. And all these years later, by the grace of God, I am well, and I am managing my triggers and doing everything every single day to move through the stress that comes. Because, hey, I'm a mom. Woo! Stress, right? Okay, just saying. Let's get back to the topic here. So, two things that you can do to alleviate your stress. See, the problem is that with stress, when we are in the moment, we will always fall back to the level of our training. That's how our brains work. And so if we do that, if we haven't trained our brains to respond to the stressful event in a way that alleviates the stress, well, geez, we just stay in it. And you, me, and everybody who experiences that sucks. That is not fun at all. So if we don't identify the things that are causing us stress, it's really hard to train our way to not have stress when it comes up again. When stress is there, our brains are not thinking, we are in reaction mode. That is how our brains work. So we've got to identify the things that are causing our stresses, our triggers, if you will. And so the problem there is, how do we do that? How do we step back and identify that trigger, that stressor? Well, I talk about it a lot, and it's the practice of detaching. When you are actually in the stress, you want to take a deep breath. You want to push away from the table. You want to get centered. You want to take the time to identify what it is. Because it can't be your boss, your dog, your spouse, your kid. It can't be all of that at one time. Okay? The trigger, the stressor is going to be one at a time. It could be all of those things piled on top of each other, but I guarantee they're not happening at the same time. Okay? So you want to take a deep breath, and what that does is it reduces the stress hormone and allows you to tap into the thinking part of your brain. Very important, because if you're in the thinking part versus the reaction part, and I don't get technical with the brain jargon, if you're in the thinking part, you can think. If you're in the reaction part, you're falling to the level of the habit. Okay, so very important. So that's how you identify it. Then the second thing that I have talked about before is sleep. Sleep is vitally important for managing stress. And just like our DNA makes us unique, our need for a certain number of hours of sleep is also unique to us. I know people, for me, I need 8 hours. That is Sam. I know people that if they sleep 8 hours, they can't even function the rest of the day because they are lethargic, they say, from too much sleep. and they only need 7. Whatever your number of hours for sleep is, that's what you must get so your brain can function optimally, which means when the stress comes, you can actually think your way and be less stressed. I hope that makes sense. You are actually able, because you are well rested, to engage that reasoning, that thinking part of the brain that is so vital, and move through the stress. I don't believe anybody can optimally operate on 4 hours or 5 hours of sleep. Sorry, there is enough research, evidence, hooking people up to sleep monitors, stuff like that. You cannot operate optimally on that little sleep. And if you're doing that for a long period of time, well, there's lots of other health effects that comes in, but that's not what we're talking about here. So sleep, which you can absolutely track your sleep. There's a ton of apps out there. Piece of paper and a pen. You write down how many hours of sleep. You go old school. Okay? Plenty of ways to track your sleep. And then you want to practice detaching. When the stress comes up, pushing back from it, taking a deep breath. What does a deep breath do? It lowers our stress response, lowers the hormones flooding our body. It takes us out of reaction mode, puts us in thinking mode. Okay? So that's what we want to do. Pretty simple. So like I said, there's lots you can do. I'm focusing on those 2 things. When you can identify your stress, you can detach from it. And the way you identify it is to detach from it. You've got to practice. And practice getting more sleep. Those 2 things, if you do them, I promise you, you will find the stress that comes up in your life to be way more manageable or even non-existent. And how cool would that be? Pretty awesome. Yes, I think we would agree. So, I have got a ton of stuff out there for you. Just launched brand new training. Want it for free? Who doesn't like free, right? Get my free training on stress. Go to samanthahorwitz.com. Click on free training. Grab your training. I'll take you through a 1-hour training. You'll be able to put what I talk about right into practice. And you can move on from there, living with a much less stress-filled life. Hey, you want more stuff about stress? Again, visit my website, samanthahorwitz.com. Click on my blog. You'll see all kinds of videos and different articles about stress. Connect with me all over the place. Graham audience, thank you. Love you so much. Connect with me on Instagram at @TheSamHorwitz, which I am here on Facebook with you as well. Twitter, same thing, at @TheSamHorwitz. And on YouTube and on LinkedIn, I am at Samantha Horwitz. So until next week, folks, this is Sam, your host of Solving Your Stress Miniseries, coming to you every Monday. Till next time, Sam out.